Welcome back, sports fans. Today, we're diving into the darker side of football, where things get dirty, real dirty. We all love the beautiful game, but sometimes emotions run high and players cross the line. From vicious tackles to blatant fouls, these moments left fans and players in absolute shock. In today's countdown, we're going through the dirtiest penalties of all time. Buckle up, because it's going to be one wild ride through the roughest moments in football history. Now, before we jump into the list, let's talk about penalties.
Dishing out a bit of suffering, but maybe having to take a bit here with Anana, making good.
They're supposed to be the result of a mistake, a mishap, or a momentary lapse in judgment. But sometimes, penalties can spark outrage. Whether it's a dangerous foul, a handball that was anything but accidental, or a dive so dramatic, it'd make an Oscar winner blush. Some penalties are just plain dirty, and today we're exposing the worst of the worst. Starting off at number 10, we have an infamous moment from the 2002 World Cup, featuring Brazilian star Rivaldo. Brazil was playing Turkey when Rivaldo decided to put on...
This is Rivaldo. It's been slipped by Khan and following on.
well, a little show. After being lightly hit by the ball on his leg, Rivaldo clutched his face and collapsed to the ground, convincing the referee to hand Turkey's Hakan Ünsal a red card. It was an Academy Award-worthy performance, and to this day, it's one of the dirtiest penalty moments in football history. Rivaldo was fined later, but the damage was already done.
Well be a red card here. Hakan Ünsal.
Coming in at number 9 is a moment that still sends chills down the spine of football fans. Roy Keane's infamous tackle on Alf Inge Haaland in 2001 wasn't just a hard challenge.
Process. As Haaland laid injured on the ground, Keane leaned over him and allegedly said, "Take that, you."
It was an act of revenge. Keane admitted in his autobiography that he targeted Haaland after an incident years earlier where Haaland had mocked him for faking an injury. Keane's horror tackle ended Haaland's career, and to this day it's remembered as one of the most brutal fouls in football. The referee didn't hesitate. Red card for Keane. But the damage was beyond repair. At number 8, we have a controversial moment that broke Irish hearts. In a 2009 World Cup qualifier, French striker Thierry Henry blatantly used his hand to control the ball, setting up a goal that sent France to the World Cup and Ireland crashing out. The referees missed it, and Ireland's hopes were dashed. Despite public outrage, FIFA refused to order a replay. It's a moment that remains etched in football history as one of the dirtiest handballs ever. Who could forget the kung fu kick from the 2010 World Cup final? In our number 7 spot, we have Dutch midfielder Nigel de Jong, who flew into Spanish player Xabi Alonso with a karate kick right to the chest. It looked more like a scene from an action movie than a football match.
He's lucky. That could have been a red card. Probably should have been. No.
Somehow, de Jong only received a yellow card for this brutal foul. Talk about getting away with one. Back again in the 2010 World Cup, but this time, we're talking about Luis Suarez. And yes, you probably know where this is going. In a quarterfinal match against Ghana, Suarez deliberately used his hand to block a goal-bound shot
That Suarez proved he would do.
in the dying minutes of extra time. Ghana was awarded a penalty but missed, and Suarez celebrated on the sidelines as if he had just scored the winner. The handball kept Uruguay's World Cup dream alive, but it left Ghana and the rest of the world fuming. Suarez was sent off, but in the end, Uruguay advanced. It's one of the dirtiest penalties because it was intentional, and the celebration that followed rubbed salt in the wound. Wait, how could we forget Zidane's headbutt in the 2006 World Cup final? In the number 5 spot, we have a moment that defined the 2006 World Cup final. Zinedine Zidane's shocking headbutt on Italy's Marco Materazzi. One of the dirtiest moments in football history, Zidane lost his cool and headbutted Materazzi, getting sent off in his final game, a shocking end to a legendary career. And let's not forget the vicious sliding tackles, like Roy Keane's tackle on Alfing Haaland, a premeditated foul that ended Haaland's career. These kinds of tackles go beyond the game. They're career-ending and downright dirty. Zidane's headbutt and those brutal tackles. Football's dark side at its worst. Next up, at number 4, is an entire match that devolved into chaos. The 2006 World Cup match between Portugal and the Netherlands became known as the Battle of Nuremberg.
Fila di tutti i difensori del Portogallo da quella parte e poi ha concluso male.
Ivanov, parte Sneijder.
Referees handed out 16 yellow cards and 4 red cards with fouls happening left and right. Both teams seemed more interested in fighting than playing football, making it one of the dirtiest matches in World Cup history. By the end of it, nobody remembered the score, just the carnage on the pitch. Coming in at number 3, we have the most infamous handball of all time. Diego Maradona's Hand of God goal in the 1986 World Cup. Maradona's sneaky punch sent the ball into the net, and the referees somehow missed it.
Maradona just walked away from Huddle then. Maradona.
It was a moment of genius and outright cheating. Argentina went on to win the match, and Maradona cemented his legacy, not without controversy, of course. At number 2, we've got Eric Cantona's shocking kung fu kick on a fan in 1995. After being sent off, Cantona launched himself into the crowd, delivering a flying kick to a supporter who had been heckling him. It was an unbelievable moment that stunned the football world. Cantona received a lengthy ban, but the incident remains one of the ugliest moments in football history. And finally, taking the number 1 spot is an act of violence that could have ended in tragedy. In the 1982 World Cup semi-final, West Germany's goalkeeper Harald Schumacher collided with France's Patrick Battiston in what can only be described as an assault. Battiston was knocked unconscious, lost teeth, and suffered severe injuries. Astonishingly, no foul was given. Schumacher showed little remorse, and to this day it's remembered as one of the dirtiest plays in World Cup history. And there you have it, the top 10 dirtiest penalties of all time. These moments, while controversial, have become a part of football's history. Whether it's revenge, frustration, or just outright cheating, these incidents remind us that the game is as much about emotions as it is about skill. Which moment shocked you the most? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a video.